Hey Commanders fans, get ready, because today we have exclusive news about our team, and you can't miss a single detail. So take advantage and subscribe to the channel. Activate the bell to receive everything firsthand, and of course, leave a like to strengthen our support and show that there are only true fans here. Our commitment is to always bring you the latest updates, news, and everything that goes on behind the scenes at Commanders. So, without further ado, let's check out today's news. Commanders' $118 million All-Pro Pound, considered best draft pick in 25 years, since 2000. 5,350 players have been selected in the NFL Draft, including 307 Pro Bowlers and 39 Pro Football Hall of Famers so far. There are always more on the way. The thing is, of those 5,000 plus, only the rarest of the rare stand out. Bleacher Report's Brad Gagnon picked the 25 best draft picks of the past 25 years, excluding the top 10, and put Washington Commanders linebacker and future Hall of Famer Bobby Wagner at the top of the list. Wagner was drafted by the Seattle Seahawks in the second round, 47th overall, out of Utah State in 2012. Heading into his 14th NFL season in 2025, he is an 11-time NFL All-Pro, 10-time Pro Bowler, and will have approximately $118.5 million in career earnings after next season. An integral part of the Seahawks during the Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll era, Wagner was a 6-time first-team All-Pro selection with no shortage of longevity, Gagnon wrote. Yet he was only the second-best pick in one of the greatest draft classes in NFL history. The best pick? That would be Seattle's third-round pick, quarterback Russell Wilson, who led the Seahawks to their first Super Bowl victory in franchise history in just his second season. Wagner led the Commanders with 132 tackles, 10 TFL, 4 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 forced fumble in 2024. He also spearheaded Washington's defense on a run to its first NFC Championship game appearance since 1991. Wagner's surefire first-ballot Hall of Famer. Wagner has a surefire way to make the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility, though as a linebacker, he's shaping up to be the NFL's perennial wonder. 49ers trade Christian McCaffrey to Washington Commanders. If the San Francisco 49ers decide to go into rebuilding mode, the Washington Commanders should be the first team to call them. We've been used to the 49ers dominating the past few years. But 2024 changes that. Last season, the 49ers lost their rhythm, finishing the year with a 6-11 record. There's certainly reason for optimism, with Christian McCaffrey entering the year healthy and Ricky Pearsall entering his second year. On the other hand, Deebo Samuel isn't the player he once was, and the 49ers traded him. After finally re-signing Brandon Ayuk, he tore his ACL and MCL last season. There are arguments for both sides, but today we'll explore where the 49ers are heading in their rebuild. From there, let's take a look at why a trade makes sense for the Commanders and what the prospects for the future would be. Christian McCaffrey. Trade proposal Washington Commanders receive. RB Christian McCaffrey San Francisco 49ers receive 2026 third-round pick, 2026 fifth-round pick, 2027 fourth-round pick. The mock trade above actually looks like a good deal for both sides. The Commanders get one of the best defensive guards in the NFL, and the 49ers get back a good chunk of draft capital, given that McCaffrey is 29 years old and has a history of injuries. This trade seems very fair for both sides. If McCaffrey stays healthy, this would be a great option for the Commanders. On the other hand, if he doesn't, it would be a bargain for the 49ers. Why the 49ers should trade Christian McCaffrey. Argument for the 49ers to trade McCaffrey makes a lot of sense. If you're worried about the team's overall lack of depth compared to previous years, why not get ahead of the game? It's not like the 49ers are the favorites to win the Super Bowl right now. They wouldn't be passing up a chance to win a ring. FanDuel gives them plus 2,000 odds to win the 2026 Super Bowl. Why Christian McCaffrey makes sense for the Washington Commanders now. To be fair to the 49ers, the Commanders are slightly ahead of them in terms of Super Bowl odds, at plus 1,900. The difference is that the 49ers are starting to fall apart, while the Commanders are a team on the rise. Commanders could sign former first-round pass rusher if they're cut. The Washington Commanders put the NFL on notice last year with a rebounding regular season and a steady pace in the NFC playoffs. After falling short against the eventual Super Bowl champions, general manager Adam Peters has made a series of incredible moves this offseason that have the Commanders in contention for the entirety of quarterback Jaden Daniels' rookie contract. On offense, the team has paid close attention to the offensive tackle spot, signing Pro Bowler Laramie Tunsil and drafting first-rounder Josh Cornerly Jr. to protect Daniels. A trade for versatile wide receiver Deebo Samuel Sr. should also bolster Daniels' passing game, with more to come once All-Pro wide receiver Terry McLaurin clears his contract and returns to the team. Defensively, Washington isn't expected to be as productive, but it has found ways to improve in several areas. The secondary looks stacked with promising rookie Trey Amos and free agent Jonathan Jones, who are prospects for impactful defensive backs. The linebackers should also be solid with Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, though fans wouldn't mind seeing a little more production from them this season compared to last. The defensive line has taken some flack, but it remains the least intimidating part of the Commanders' starting lineup. Washington has followed its all-in and win now mantras by acquiring veteran contributors. But for the sake of its future pass rush, the organization should look to add more. Don't expect to trade a flashy name like Trey Hendrickson or T.J. Watt, but if an intriguing prospect comes along on the open market, Peters & Co. should investigate. Last word on sports names: Jacksonville Jaguars outside linebacker Devin Lloyd as a possible cut candidate, a former first-round pick who's still only 26. That could be a good fit in the nation's capital, especially if Washington can sign him to a cheap contract later in the offseason after his release. Elsewhere on the defensive line, Washington signed defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw and edge rusher Dietrich Wise Jr., 30. Having lost sack leader Dante Fowler Jr. at the edge position in free agency, there's still a spot for a starting pass rusher, ideally someone who can play the role for years to come. Why not give Lloyd a shot? The 6'3", 245-pounder has shown flashes of pass rushing ability, but has mostly excelled at racking up dropback numbers.